Hi everyone, Jonas here with 52 Things. I hope you're feeling good. I sure am. Sun is out, summer is coming, and I feel super inspired to go out shooting some more stuff. And today I'm going to show you a really cool, simple effect that you can add to your videos to give them this kind of dreamy summer look. It looks a little something like this. What we're going to do today is an effect called bokeh. Bokeh, bouquet, bokeh. Bokeh. Bokeh comes from a Japanese word that simply means blur, and guaranteed you have seen it in videos, wedding videos, inspirational ads. Filmmakers love to use it to give the video kind of a dreamy look. And you can create this effect in camera if you have a good enough lens, so we can drop the aperture number really low, creating a super short depth of field. But many times the gear and especially light conditions won't allow us to create this effect in camera. But then we can do it in post-production using overlays. If you search online, you'll find all kinds of different sites that sell these bokeh clips. But for today and this weekend's project, I want to show you a way where you can create your own clips for practically nothing. Just things that we can find in pretty much any home.
I'm hanging my ladder between two trees in my backyard, and then I found an old box with CD-ROMs that I used to have 15 years ago. I'm attaching 3 CD-ROMs to a string, making about 10 of those strings, and then hanging those strings underneath the ladder.
So to be able to isolate the actual reflections better, I'm going to put up this blanket to cover up the white door on the background. That way we will only see the reflections, and when we apply the overlay, it's going to look a lot more isolated and not so washed out. So here's my setup. Camera on a tripod, shooting with my Sony in this case, but you can shoot with pretty much any camera. Most important thing here is to have a telephoto lens, something that you can zoom in with, makes it a whole lot easier. But the cool thing about this is that, you know, we spend so much time trying to get shots in focus. With this, all you got to do is make it make it as much out of focus as you possibly can. So technically you don't need a whole lot of fancy stuff. Your lens could be pretty much anything. It doesn't have to be crystal clear. So if we create this effect in camera, we usually like to drop the aperture number as low as possible to be able to shrink the depth of field as much as possible to make those light spots kind of pop up. But in our case, we want to be able to isolate out the background. So by increasing the aperture number a little bit, I can make the image a little bit darker, which will make the dark background easier to isolate, which is good. The other thing is frame rate. If you have the ability to shoot at a higher frame rate, 60 frames per second, or in my case 240 frames per second, I'd highly recommend it, because when the wind starts blowing those CDs, it can look a little bit crazy. So if you have the ability to slow down the speed, definitely a good thing. Post-production with these clips is super easy. This is what the clips looks like straight out of camera. And the next step is just to choose a segment of your bokeh clip that you want to use, of course, and then drag it onto its own layer on top of the clip that you want to give that effect to. And with the bokeh clip highlighted, you go up to the video inspector right up here, and all the way up to the top you'll find this blend mode drop-down menu. It's set to normal by default. Click that and go down to screen. Screen will then essentially take out everything that is dark in the image, and what we are left with is everything that is bright, basically that dreamy kind of reflecting bokeh look that we were after. And if you think that the clip stands out too much, you can go and play with the opacity, drag down the opacity a little bit. And also some of the clips you will have more of the bokeh effect on the left or the right side. But then of course you can flip that video clip to make it more prominent on the left or right, depending on what you want the clip to look like. In Adobe Premiere, just as easy. This is what it looks like. This is where you find the blending modes. And just as we did in Final Cut Pro, we'll go down and choose screen. Same thing, easy peasy. I hope you like that simple tip. This is something that you can do over the weekend. It won't cost you anything. All you got to do is just go through your old boxes and find some old DVDs or CDs and just string them up like this and shoot it, as long as you have some sun, of course. That's pretty important. I also want to throw out a big thank you to all of our patrons. As an extra bonus, I will provide you with a package of these bokeh clips that I shot today. If you're a patron supporter, you will have access to these, even if you're just a $1 supporter or a $50 supporter. I don't care. I want to give these to you so you can play with them over the summer and give your videos that kind of cool bokeh, dreamy look effect. So hope you enjoy that. Stay tuned for the video coming out next week, and thanks for watching.